Good morning, peoples. It is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. Let's jump in here for Group B. All right, so remember the basis of these is about three different methodologies. One is look at the current IV. They're always trying to pay around the current IV, but if they make a lot more money, they'll pay a portion of the more money. And then I look, this is June 13th, and this is now July 13th, right? So we closed on Friday the 11th. And what is the difference? So has the fund been going up? Typically, they're making money as the fund goes up. So between the IV and thus, dictating yield, and is the fund targeting up or down in comparison month? And just what have they been paying? Like, let's look at Nvidia. They paid 67 cents. Last time they paid $1.62. So that's like 1/3, right? They paid about 40% of what they paid in the previous month, because that previous month they had gone from 1684 to 1621. One could argue that that's not a huge down. Well, we've turned that around and we're up 709. The fund is looking at an all-time high, or sorry, the underlying is looking at an all-time high, especially when they roar like this V up bottom over the last couple of months. It's just not gonna work to their advantage. So let's see what I have. So on NVIDIA, got a couple of pieces of work I did. So these again are what we call book value. These aren't closed out. So they're setting on $1.85 in book value on their 130 put. Okay. This is holdings as after 7-Eleven, after the market's closed. So they're looking pretty good. And that money is not booked. You can't say, well, they're going to pay us that. So $1.85 in one, $1.05 in another. So that's $2.95 a share that they're setting on profits. Right? They don't pay setting on profits, but they do consider it. So I looked at their actives, their weeklies that they've closed out, and they've closed out a decent amount. They're not making too much money there. They're getting capped in some situations, other situations they're doing okay. Because remember, you have about 4 weeks in this 28, 4 weeks exactly in these 28-day cycles that just ended last Friday. So I think they're somewhere in between. They're over $1 and they're underneath this guy. So what am I showing? I am showing $1.24. 92.86% yield. I could be aggressive there. Maybe they only pay $1, but I think we're definitely $1 and higher. All right. FEPI, Facebook. I looked at FEPI and I did not see anything earned in the SIN value. So the synthetic, SIN for synthetic. So I have them kind of on target where they've been. What about the price? Well, they're up 1.63, not up a lot, right? Not 10% like Murni, not 7% like Nvidia, and not 13% like MARO. So let's see what we've got for Facebookie 54. Yeah, I got them right in that. Look at this. 53, 53, 52, 55, 47. I see enough here that it says to me, yeah, I think it's 54 cents. All right, JPM, JP Morgan. What do I have on them? They also have no SIN value. Okay. So they're not going to get anything there. and their current IV is about where I have them. They did go up 3.8%. Let's see if that causes me to be off, but I don't think so. I got them up a little bit over last time. I mean, look at this. They've had a 29, they've had a 37, they had a 56, a 39, a 27. So I think 29 or 30 is where they end up here, peoples. Murney, I mean, Murney has been left for dead, but look at this. It's crawling out of its depth. 237, 247, 273, a 10.53 increase. Well, guys, last week, I forget the yield. I think the yield was in the 70s, right? When they paid 19 cents. So I don't know. They're somewhere between 17 and 20. I think I've got them at 17 and a half. Let's see. I'm going to make it 17 and a half. I'll tell you what kicks me that little half cent. 83% because their IV 67 and they're up 10% month over month. Let's see when they paid. They paid more than that last week, but you can't. Did they use up monies? Let's see what I do have a Murney sheet. I thought I had a Murney sheet. What did I do with it? That's bizarre, people. I do have a Murney sheet. Let me see if I can find it. All right. I'm gonna go with, I got 17 and a half. I'm comfortable. It's just too small to do a ton of GDXY. Now you guys know I love precious metals and miners. GDX is not doing particularly well. GDX represents the senior. Think of it like the Dow when the Dow was all the large cap and the NASDAQ was the up and coming tech and so forth. That's not entirely true today. You have some massive big cap companies that aren't in the Dow. You have some big cap companies in the Dow. But the point being, GDX of the miners, the largest senior miners, the Barricks, the Agnico Eagle, the Newmont. So when those guys, they run right after the gold and the metal price runs. And that happened. And they've sort of already, I mean, they're going to do 2x, 3x, maybe even 4x from here in 5 years. They're going to do really well. They're just not going to run like crazy all the time. And what happens, they run, now it's silver, palladium, and platinum that are running. Well, there aren't a lot of large cap players, and those that aren't necessarily in GDX, right? So you have like GDXJ, which is a junior. So that's outperforming GDX right now and has more silver players in there, where silver was up big. And it was my biggest day. I had all-time highs in my portfolio on Friday through that. So let me get you what you need. What is GDX going to pay? Well, it's down from last month, I can say that, 46 cents. The problem being, let me share this sheet with you guys. While they have money in GDX, again, book value 46 cents, they're just plodding along. So, and the IV isn't big on this, right? Until we get into $4,500 gold and these miners just really blow up, which some of the big ones are. Second quarter earnings, when they start coming, we should see Newmont, we should see Agnico Eagle, AEM, should see some of those guys. When they start reporting, they're going to report very good quarters and their free cash flow. And then that in turn will kick up GDX more. And then as you kick up the big cap, then the juniors follow. Right now, we're kind of in the juniors playing catch up. I've had some silver miners up 10% 2 or 3 days in a row each day. So that's just how that works. All right, so dips. Sorry for the lengthy, but I think you guys, if you want to know what these funds really are, I got other people saying, well, let's see how the gold fund did. Well, it's not really a gold fund, right? It's precious metals miners. If you want a gold fund, go get Shiny, go get Goldie. You get paid on GLD and physical gold. This is not what this is. Okay. Dips. Dips is the inverse of NVDY. So it's going down typically when NVIDIA is going up. Let's take a look. 22 cents. Why? Because, well, and also, guys, look at GDXY. This was in my rationale, right? They're only 15. They were 1474, 1605, etc. So you know, it's a hard one. I mean, they could pay 60 cents, but they could also pay 30 cents. It's just, unless you track every penny, and even when you track, you don't know for sure. All right. So I got dips at 22 cents. All right. Babo, look here. We got 4 in a row. Babo is down more than GDX was. And I penalized GDX a lot. I mean, I hope, because I still own a little bit here. I hope they pay 50 cents or higher, but hope and reality may be different. Okay, Babo, don't have a lot of thoughts are going to go up. I got them going down 37 simply here. When I look, there's no synthetic value whatsoever. They're not ahead, they're behind in their synthetic. Okay. All right, let's get to PLTY. You know, I'm most concerned with it. I've already moved a considerable amount of my PLTY investment over to Roundhill, along with Coney, although I still own some Coney and I still own some PLTY and I own Misty. I haven't, even though I own a little MST, I haven't moved out. If Roundhill gets its MSTW, whatever it's going to call its Mr. Fund, I'll probably move to there. But let's see. Now, PLTY was difficult, guys, and let me tell you the difficulty on it. Mainly, it stems from not paying us because they rolled on a Monday, or was, you know, I mix up them in coin because I was covering them both. But bottom line, we missed out, and I think it's them. I think Coney, they sold it on Friday. We just didn't get paid a lot, and we could have. But on Palantir, they rolled on the Monday. And had they rolled on Friday, we would have gotten a lot of that money and we would have been paid. But look at the people over at Roundhill. They're paid weekly. They've been getting fantastic payments the last 2 weeks. So here's my rationale. I have a lot of data on this. Okay. So they've got over $9 in carryover or carry forward cash earned. Primarily that big roll on that Monday after the Friday. You know, this, remember, their accounting goes every 28 days. So it ended on Friday, 7/11. It starts again on Monday. So 4 weeks from 7/11 will take you, I think it's 8/12, 8/09. I have to, you know, it's always shrinks because it's only 28 days, but July has 31. So 3 from there, it's probably 8/12. Friday, 8/12 will be the next accounting uh, period, 8/8. So we go from 8/11, we lose 3 days, right? 28 days. So August 8th is when our accounting ends. So what do we have right now? Well, we've got, see these 7/18s aren't completely gone, right? Oh, they're 9/19. Sorry, guys, I'm looking at the weeklies. That had been a synthetic before, so they've already rolled and they've got cash in the door. This is book value. They don't pay on book value. They consider it. I've got weekly profits over the month, over the entire month, of 21 cents. So that isn't going to get us paid much. but I think they're going to use some of that $9.70, I think $9.70 of collected money. And let's talk about it. So I will give you my estimate right now. Let's get to it, Bruce. $6.24. Okay. That's 122%. By the way, this is the NVDY. This is the Murney, if you care. This thing could be anywhere, honestly. I'd be super disappointed. This thing could be anywhere from $4.50 to $7. I don't see them paying more than $7. I don't see them paying $4.50. I think they're in the high fives to the mid sixes. So $5.50 to $6.50 is what I think. Again, let's see what they do. I'm going to go with 624, and I would be ecstatic with $7, and I really want $7. I don't know we're going to get it. All right, guys. MARO. They're only down 1.84. Not a big deal. They've gotten capped several times, but the overall rises that they've hung on for a good month. And remember, I said last time, even though we had all that money, we could turn around and lose it and have our synthetic go down. That didn't happen. All right, MARO. So MARO is making money. They're making bank, peoples. Let me show you what I got for MARO. I didn't have the weeklies. I could run all the weeklies. I just don't and didn't. I've got them with book value again, not closed, $1.71 right now. And that is on their 18. There's the call 3.1 and 1.81 on the put, and the difference is based on the 3,350,000. This is not what they're going to pay us on, but they collected synthetic money along the way. Okay. I don't really know the detail in their weeklies, but I'll take that into account. Look at this. They're up 13.02. They paid us $1.20. So you can guess that last time at 25.50, they paid $1.97. So I'm taking about 2/3 of the difference here, was my rationale. And I got us at 179. Yeah, 92%. So I'm showing some payday money. Look at June actuals, $10.13. But look at PLTY, $3.26. We got underpaid on there. Remember, we're a $66, $67, $66 stock. So this is an excellent payday, but I hope we get it. Hope, hope, hope. All right, let's keep going now. These are less fun, right? 16.5. Look at this, 13, 13, 18, 14, 18. So I got 16.5, yielding pretty high. Let's see if they keep that up. But the markets have been up, right? In general, you can see it in this fund. I'm certainly paying more than June based on what I'm showing. Okay, on YMAG, I'm going to just give you all of these. Oh, I guess I didn't. All right, guys. YMAG 15.4. All right, LFGY 45.6. I'm going to re-summarize these up. 31 for GPTY. I like LFGY. I like GPTY. I like the portfolio approach. SDIDY, right? The S&P 500, the weekly pair, 23.9. QDIDY, triple Qs, the weekly pair, 23 cents. RDIDY, the Russell 2000. Okay. Look at everything is up. And Chippy's up. Maybe I should give Chippy more money. It's 52, 52, and 55. Probably should, guys. Better make this 43. Okay. So I'm up there pushing. It's just getting close to May's results where PLTY had a $7 payment. And I got a 6. All right, guys. Let me summarize everything. I got Nvidia, $1.24, a 92.86 yield. 54 cents for Meta, 41 yield. 29 for JP Morgan, 22 yield. 17.5 for Murny cents, 83% yield. GDXY, 46, almost a 40% yield. Dips, 39% yield, 22 cents. Low payment, but Babo is down, right? Look at the Dips and Babo both lost a lot of bandwidth there. Babo, 37 cents. All right. PLTY, $6.24, people. 122.61. MARO, $1.79. 92.75. Okay, 16.5 for YMAX, 15.4 for YMAG, LFGY 4.456. GPTY 31 cents, SDiddy 23, 23 for QDiddy, RDiddy 31. Oh, I didn't go 9.4, 78.71 for ULTY, peoples. Another nice payment in that 9 range. They were up 1.8. All right, 43 cents. That would be a new high for CHPY. 40.52 yield. All right, peoples, that's what I got. This is Bruce with Targeted Wealth Creation. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Have a great Sunday ahead, and we will see you this week with more and more info. All right, peoples, bye for now.